Hi, it's Donna Robertson. After years of working in the quilting industry, I have found that many quilters have a difficult time picking out a gift quilt for a man or boys. They seem to have a thought in their head that it has to be a certain thing, and they come looking for it. And so today we're going to give you a few little ideas, and we've invited an expert to share with us on what men and boys will enjoy. Hi, it's Donna Robertson with Fabric Cafe, and we have a special guest today. Actually, John has joined us for every video that we've made so far. He's just usually on the other side of the camera. So this is
John Mossell
with
Fabric Cafe.
Hey, we got it here. Now, there's a special relationship here. John, I met when the doctor said to me, it's a boy. So John's my son, and I have the awesome pleasure and honor of having him work with me now. He's, how long? 2 years.
2 years that we've been doing this full time together. But literally, we've been working together pretty much from conception of the company, because I remember helping you get your logo designed and working on your first website and
that's right,
things like that. So that's been a long time since that small office that you had in that little house.
Oh, that's right. I had a little 1,100 square foot house that I had restored over in the historic district here in Tyler, and I loved that little house. And I had a little office. It was fun.
It was about the size of this cutting mat, and you get two people in there. It was full.
Well, the really cool thing too is that when John was young, and the reason he did all that work for me and with me is because he is a tech genius. So I have really been privileged to have that experience and expertise to help me build Fabric Cafe. And so 2 years ago, he came full time with Fabric Cafe, and we really appreciate that. Tell me about your experience in sewing and.
So I've actually been doing all forms of needlecraft pretty much since I could hold a crochet hook.
Yes.
I remember, we've got this fun little picture. We've shared it a few times on Facebook of Fran and I sitting on the couch crocheting, and all I'm doing is a chain stitch, and Fran's just enamored with watching me do this. And, Fran and I would just have so much fun. We'd take a full skein of yarn and do nothing but a chain stitch all the way through it. So we'd have a full yarn, and then sometimes we'd go get a bigger hook and then chain the chain. So we did that, and then we started getting into various embroidery and crewel and cross stitch and things like that, and start doing various needle forms.
Now, I want to tell my secret here.
Yeah.
The reason my kids became so creative is because I was enamored with all of these creative things, and in order to get my projects done, I had to keep them entertained. So they learned how to do all of these different projects at a very early age, and it's really paid off, because if you ever have a question about one of the patterns, John can answer that.
Yeah.
So with no further ado, let's talk about quilting for guys. We're going to be showing a quilt fabrics today and some quilts. Many of the quilts, we do not have the fabric that the quilt is made with, but we do have other fabrics, and we'll show you how that works, because with my books, they're all written for 3 1-yard cuts of fabric, and every one of the books has 8 different patterns, and you can make these patterns in either a lap, a twin, or a king-queen. But the really cool part of it is it's like a quilting system. All you need are 3 1-yard cuts of fabric. You'll need a focus, a light, and a dark. Super simple to pick out your fabrics. And then you'll be able to make a quilt. And so we're going to get started. John's going to hold up the quilt. I'll show you some fabrics, and we'll do a little bit more bantering as we go along here. All right.
This first one.
All right. The first one that we have is a great one if you're a beginner or if you're looking to make a quilt for a gift. Now, this is not available. Most of the fabrics we show you today will not be available, but we have other fabrics that will go into this. This is a great 10-inch block, great for beginners, great for an experienced person who wants to get a quilt done in a hurry. Let's put this up on the table, and let's show you the fabrics that are picked for this. Now, it's really kind of fun. This one is great. Now, we usually think of deer when we see deer like this for a hunting theme. But do you see what this fabric is doing that's a little different? It's like portraits of these great, beautiful animals. So this could be for somebody that maybe likes photography.
Oh, exactly. I mean, it would be great for that. Or I know y'all enjoy the times that you've had deer walk across the little valley in front of your house, and it's great to do that. Or last year, we went up to see some friends in Cincinnati area, and I was literally sitting on the porch one evening, and I had a family of 6 deer walk by. And that was just really a cool experience to see that. So, you know, watching nature is awesome.
Yes, it is.
So this would be a great one for those nature lovers that are out there.
Now, John has made several quilts, and he knows and loves the system that we use. So why don't you explain to him about where each of the fabrics go?
So as you see, we've got 3 of the fabrics here. So our top fabric here is our focus fabric. And that focus fabric is the one that's going to give us the most excitement, the most interest in the quilt. And we're going to use, in this situation, this deer fabric. We're going to use that in our large 10-inch block that we have on this So Quick pattern. And so you'll have a nice big block of your deer in there. And then we've got our secondary fabrics. We've got this really neat, it's almost like a little pine cone on this one. And the 2 of these will have our lightest one. After we've taken our focus fabric, we'll have our lightest one here that we'll then use in our lightest position in this 4-patch. And then we've got the same fabric style, just in a different color, that we'll use in that. That's going to give us a really nice complementary here on that 4-patch. And tie all of these together and just does a really, I think that's going to be a gorgeous quilt.
I think so too. I've just been drooling over it, and like you said, I like to watch the deer. Okay, so
let's talk about the numbers and the name of this one. So this one is going to be 8021126, and it is called Deer Meadow. And it's a great one out of the Quilt Favorite books, which is one of our downloadable books. And we're also suggesting using the So Quick pattern. So it's a great one. And this is a great pattern if you're a beginner with quilting, because it's nothing easier than doing that nice big 10-inch block and then that nice simple 4-patch. And it all goes together really nice and quick. Most people are able to complete one of these in about 6 to 8 hours.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, and where do they find these quilts?
So we can find these at fabriccafe.com.
All right. Well, let's look at the next quilt that we have coming up. And the next quilt that we're going to be showing you is called Tic Tac. It's another one with big blocks. It goes together in a hurry. And it has 2 focus fabrics. We usually pick a dark for our focus fabric number 1 and a light for the number 2. And the pattern is written in such a way that when you pick that lighter color, it's also going to be out here in these little blocks. And the darker color I put in the border because I like the larger prints in the border as well. So we'll put Tic Tacs up here and we'll show you what we have for this. So we have patterns that will use 1 focus fabric and patterns that use 2 focus fabrics because, you know, those are the ones that we like the most. Now, I have to talk about this because I love cartoon movies and Spider-Man especially. So even though we're saying these are for guys, they are also for us girls that like them too. So if you like watching deer like I do, you might enjoy having one of those quilts. And if you like cartoons like this, then like I do. So this has 2 focus fabrics, but what you do with this is you pick 1 focus fabric, and I call it the darker of the 2, and then the lighter of the 2, and then this needs to be lighter than this. So you have 2 focus and a dark. So then this is going to go where these blue snowmen are. That's your number 1 fabric. Your number 2 fabric will go where the lighter block is here. And then your number 3 fabric is going to go in the sashing. And I like it because the little Spider-Men, those are going to show up nicely in that little block. You'll be able to catch some of those.
And I love this pattern with Tic Tac because it's got a couple of neat things going on. You've actually used some of that focus fabric out here on your border to really get that to pop a little bit more. And then with this small block, that's breaking up the usual kind of just straight, plain sashing that you see a lot of times. So it adds some additional interest in on this pattern.
And the other thing is this is actually done in strip piecing. The sashing is done that way, so you're not sewing small pieces together. We sew large pieces together, and then we cut them into smaller increments that we call units. Okay, this one is called Web Crawler, and the kit number is 8021127. Tic Tac is the name of the pattern, and it's from the book Easy Peasy 3-Yard Quilts. And another thing about our books is that you can buy 3 kits and get a book free instead of the little patterns. So like if you really like the Tic Tac and you want to get a book, it's in the book Easy Peasy.
That's a great deal.
It is. Okay, next one that we have coming up, good news. I'm going to show you quilts, brand new fabric, and we have the fabric in stock. Woohoo! We get excited when that happens nowadays because many of you know a lot of the fabric shipments are being delayed, but we got this in yesterday or the day before, just immediately. So I said, get that in the men and boys right away. Once again, it's a wonderful patriotic look. The particular pattern is called Old Glory. And this is a beautiful new fabric from Moda. So let's put that up here.
Before you run off,
Uh-huh.
I think we need to show the backing on this just a little bit. And hopefully that'll show up. It's this great, just wavy lines with stars on it. So it's a great job. And Lucinda, our quilter, did a great job with it.
Yes, Lucinda's awesome. All right, now here's the fabric. Now, I had fun designing this particular quilt, and it was one of those that I laughed about it because I saw something on the web, and I thought, oh, that would be a great concept for a 3-yard quilt. And then I started playing with it. And when I got through, the picture that I had seen originally looks absolutely nothing like this. But I loved this one with the friendship star. So I'll let you talk about this one, John.
Well, I think this almost has no real need for explanation on it because it's a very simple fabric with our red as our focus fabric, which is going to be in all of the stripes and also in the center block of our friendship star that we have on this. And then we've got that white again with the red on it, nice complementary to the main focus fabric so that we get that red and white stripe. And then our darkest of the 3 fabrics is that nice dark blue, again with the same motif on it. And I think it just works really well together. I think this is going to be a beautiful, as you can see, it is a beautiful quilt. And I think this is really kind of a unique design with all of the others that we've done because it's not just that asymmetrical look on this quilt. You've actually got that kind of sidebar on it to add just even more interest. I think this one would make it just a beautiful wall hanging.
Oh, that would be.
In a guy's room, that the man cave or something like that would be great to have in a place that the guy would really be able to enjoy something like this hanging on a wall.
They have the Quilts of Valor, and I do want to point out our quilts are basically 45 by 60. This one is 44 by 62, and it's not quite large enough to fit with the Quilts of Valor.
Right.
They have a particular size, but you can add a border to this quilt, and we do sell this fabric as well, so you can get one of these fabrics to add to the border, and we'll have that on our website at fabriccafe.com. While you're at our website, click on the free goodies button, and that free goodies button has a freebie for you on how to add a border to a 3-yard quilt. This one doesn't double well because of the unique design, so the way you would make this larger would be to add a 5-inch border that will bring it into the range that they're looking for with the Quilts of Valor.
That's great. So this one is called Stars and Stripes Forever. It's using our Old Glory pattern, and that number is 8021052.
All right.
Another beautiful kit that we've got up on fabriccafe.com.
Great. Okay, the next one is, we're going to show this one, and I'm going to talk about this, and the pattern is 9+1. And I did this one originally whenever I was doing a kid's book and I was wanting to show off some great fabrics for children. And it's a larger block here with the 9 patch. And this one has airplanes. I don't have this fabric available, but I do have a one that has this focus fabric, but it has different companion fabrics. We ran out of the focus. And it is a last chance. We only have 2 of these remaining. So we did it a little bit different. This one, the quilt has yellow stars. This one has green. And then the polka dot was just blue over here. We have done a black, which looks marvelous with the multicolor planes. So your focus is your planes. Your number 2 fabric, the light, is this one. And then the dark is the multicolored dot. The last chance, there's only 2 of these left. You could make a twin size if you wanted to with 2 kits. And the pattern number is 80-21128, Flying Aces, number 2. That just simply means this is our second rendition of this. And it is a last chance. The pattern is 9+1 from the book, Quilts for Kids. Okay, now we have another set of fabric. Now this is brand new fabric. It just came in this week too. And so we'll let John talk about this one. I love these frogs.
So this is a really neat one. In fact, whenever I see this one, it reminds me of a friend of mine over in Dallas named Robin. And she just loves frogs. She's got frog earrings and brooches, and her business name is even called Ribbit.
Oh.
And, so she's got everything with frogs. So I think of her whenever I'm seeing this. But these great little frogs are just so fun. And, for all those little boys out there that just love to catch frogs and turtles and bugs and all of that stuff, this would be a really fun one for a little boy. So that focus fabric's going to look great in that big block that we've got here on the 9+1. And our 2 remaining fabrics, again, we're going to use that lightest one for fabric number 2. And then we got this great orange with dots on it for fabric number 3. So it's going to be a really bright, colorful frog quilt. So this one is called Froggy Friends, and it is also the 9+1 pattern, and its number is 8021129. And again, it's out of the Quilts for Kids, which, by the way, the Quilts for Kids book is now a downloadable. So you can now download that from fabriccafe.com. Or maybe you're an international customer or something like that from Australia or England, something like that. You can also visit our Etsy store. So etsy.com/fabriccafe. And a bunch of our books and patterns are there. So it's going to be able to shave you on the shipping.
That's great. That's great. All right. So the next one that we have for you, we have some pieces and parts. So let's show Sweet Times is the next one that we're going to be doing. And if you haven't joined us for pieces and parts before, that's just where we're going to take strips and pieces and show you how the quilt goes together. So you have a little concept of how quick and easy these patterns are. This one has a 10-inch block, and each block is your focus fabric, and then we will sash it with each block with a different color. So you've got your fabric 1, your fabric 2, and your fabric 3. Now, I have a different version of this on the web, and it doesn't have these 2 colors. It has 2 other colors with you. But if you go to our website and look up campers, you'll find the campers on our website. New fabric that just came in. So let's go over here and talk about this great new. Once again, we've got some cartoon guys. Now, do they make video games with the different cartoon characters?
I don't know.
You're not a gamer,
I'm
huh?
not a gamer.
Okay.
Well,
Hannah.
I know that it comes on fabric, so.
Yeah. Comes in comic books and on TV and in fabric, but we don't know about gaming. Now, Hannah's behind the camera today, in case you're wondering what we had done to Hannah. We hid her behind the camera. She had to swap jobs with John. Do you know if they make games with? They do, she says. She's shaking her head yes. So this is the Marvel series, and I can see we have the Hulk. Isn't that the Hulk? I better not start trying to name them.
We've got
the Avengers.
Captain America. We've got the Hulk. We've got, I don't remember who this character is. And of course, Tony Stark.
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Iron
There
Man.
we go.
You know how it is that these generational things that are going on. Well, I know who Donald Duck is. Okay, so our focus fabric is the Marvel characters, and then we have a number 2 is our light, and number 3 is our dark. And let's do some pieces and parts. Okay, with this one, we're going to show you how to build one of the blocks. And this is going to be the same for both of these quilts. Now, we've cut the blocks, but when you're making this, you're going to actually be doing strip piecing. You'll sew a really long strip of this to a really long strip of this.
Which is basically with the fabric that we're going to be making those strips with.
Right. And then you're going to cut, when you get through sewing those long strips together, you're going to cut this unit. So they're already sewn together when they go to this size. And then you're going to take strips of fabric and sew to the side of these blocks, like so. And this is then going to create that look of the sashed block. Now I'm going to get the cropping tool so we can get rid of some of the extra and get rid of our seam allowances so you can see how this looks. And you can kind of get an idea of how quick and easy it is going to be, because you strip piece that center, you cut those blocks, you sew little pieces on it, then you're going to sew your blocks side by side, and voila, you'll have a quilt in no time at all. So you'll alternate your colors, so you've got your dark gray and your light blue, and then we also have a set with the blue that will go in your neighboring board, neighboring blocks. So that one's going to be a fun one to put together. And your numbers are 8021130. Hero Sketches. Sweet Times is your pattern, and that's in the book Easy Peasy. All
so
right.
I think one really interesting thing about the way that these quilts go together with the strip method, that makes it so easy, because you're not in there just cutting up all these little pieces and parts and all of that stuff. You're doing that full width of fabric, and this goes together so fast. I'm actually working on Entwined right now from Quick as a Wink, and I was amazed how fast I'm literally, I had my strips, I start cutting them up into blocks, I'm sewing those together, and it's almost like a fun little game putting these together, because it just goes together so quick as those strip and block, the unit method.
Yes, well, thank you. I really like that as well. Let me move these so you can take that away. All right. Now, the next one that we have for you is going to be a great one, and this is called Checkmate, and we have several different fabrics to show you that will work well with Checkmate. So this one, I don't have this fabric, but I do have some other baseball fabric we're going to show you. This is a width of fabric. We do trim a little bit off so that the measurements come out right for your checkerboard here, but this is all one piece of fabric. Talk about fast, that go together fast, and it really shows off that fabric. This is also a little bit longer quilt. I think this is one of our longest quilts at 63, because you can only get so much quilt out of 3 yards of fabric. Now, you could also add a border to this if you wanted to, and make it a little wider and a little bit longer for those tall people in your life. We've got a great kid fabric here, or grown-up kid fabrics too, because there are many guys with big equipment like this.
This is such a fun fabric.
I know, I love this. Whenever I saw it, I got all excited because I liked it too. Okay, or is it your turn or mine?
I think I'll talk about this one.
Okay, you can talk about this one.
This one is so fun because, what little boy doesn't like to play with construction stuff? I remember my Tonka dump truck very well when I was a kid. I was hauling rocks and Barbie dolls and all of that stuff in it for my sister. It was great. So you can just totally imagine all of this. And I think one of the neat things that hopefully the camera's picking up, this almost looks like chalk paint. Is what this looks like on a chalkboard. So it's a cool effect that this fabric has in it, but it's going to be great whenever you've got that strip in there with the width of fabric and our main focus block for Checkmate. And then we've got this great yellow to bring out those yellows from our construction yellow and that steam shovel that's in this one. and then that great checkerboard that looks just great, kind of like a construction warning sign or something like that. And so that blue checkerboard and this dot are going to be that 4-patch that's in this. So it's all going to go together and just be absolutely great for a little boy. So our number on this one is 802113, and it's called Bold Builders. And it's using Checkmate, which is also in our Quilts for Kids book. So that's what that Checkmate pattern looks like. So another great little project that you could do there. And this would be definitely a quick weekend one because it does have that full width of fabric in that big strip.
I have many customers that have come to me and told me that Checkmate was their go-to pattern whenever they were making any of the children's quilts.
Definitely.
But I also know many that have made it for the guys because it is a little bit longer. Let's show you another fabric too that goes, and that is this one, and it's called Play Ball. And Play Ball has it's like songs and things that go with Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Root, Root, Root for the Hometown. So it's got cute little sayings all over this. That would go in your large strip. And then here we have the baseballs. So you have the outline of the baseball. You can see the circle with the little stitch lines. And it comes in red and blue. That would be your checkerboard down here. It would be really cute.
It's a little patriotic, a little, America's pastime. It's a really fun quilt.
That's right, it is. And here's our number, 8020190, Play Ball. Checkmate is the pattern, and that's in the book Quilts for Kids, which is a downloadable book. Now we have one more here that's a last chance. And this one would be great for a beach house.
It would be great for a beach house. I mean, you can see the, just the fun little characters we've got on here with the walrus with the little bow tie on him and the little sailor hat and all of this. It's got a great nautical theme to it. It's got some great with the turquoise and the beiges and the light, almost seafoam green colors. Very nautical. This would look great on in a beach house with wicker furniture or something like that. It would be just really neat. So that focus fabric would be again in our big block that we've got on Checkmate, and then we've got these great secondary fabrics with this orange or almost kind of a corally color. Kind of looks a little bit like a fish scale maybe. And then we've got this great little kind of an aqua color. It's almost like rope. Makes a great little nautical combination on this one.
That's funny because whenever we were picking this out and Hannah and I were going over the quilts, I said, this looks kind of like rope, doesn't it?
It's a fun one. So this one is called Mariner's Life, and it's 8021135. And again, we're using that Checkmate pattern. And this is also a last chance. So we've got just 3 of these left. So you've got a nice opportunity to make a twin size. Although this one doesn't make up in a twin size that easily because of that width of fabric that we're using on that big block.
Right.
But any one of our kits work in any one of our patterns, so you could very easily do the Tic Tac or some of the others that we've shown in this episode.
Sounds great. All right, next we have the bold block. And again, don't have this fabric for you, but I do have some other great fabric. So this one is a wonderful one for showing off your focus fabrics as well. And it's a 10-inch block, and it has a shadow box, and it's an asymmetrical shadow box. And we rely heavily on this number 2 fabric, or the lightest fabric, in order to make your blocks pop and make them look more bold. So we'll put that up here. And we have another cartoon fabric. We were excited whenever we hit upon, every once in a while we cannot get the licensed fabrics. They sell out very, very quickly. And so we have to wait until the manufacturers bring out more, and then we are able to bring them out for you.
Marvel's getting a lot of love today.
Yes, they are. Now, I did not practice this before. This is Wakanda. Did I do it right? Wakandan.
Warrior.
Warrior. Okay, well, I should have practiced before, but I didn't. And it's a good thing that I'm looking at it right side up because I could not at all pronounce that upside down. Okay, we have 8020836. And it's Bold Blocks is your pattern. Pretty Darn Quick is the book that this pattern is in. And let's talk about our fabrics.
So another good name for this one is the Black Panther, I believe, is the character that we have in this one. So that's another character that's recently been out in movies in the last few years. So maybe you've got a grandson or daughter that's going, I want something with the Black Panther on it. Here's your opportunity. So it's a great fabric here with a lot of the main characters from that movie in it. And then we've got this fun little almost pickup sticks look on this fabric, which is really a cool fabric. And then this black and white, kind of a tone on tone, almost like a tree bark look and feel in this one. So this darker one is going to be what you're going to have in the sashing or the shadow that you've got on your main 10-inch focus. And then the little pickup sticks, that gray and white, would be what's going to be in your background. That's really going to set that off and make that pop a lot. So that's going to be a really nice kit.
Once again, that kit number is 8020836. All right, the next one that we have is also made with the Bold Blocks, and it's another great one for those kiddos that like to play with trucks, whether they're 9 or 49, right?
Exactly.
Except this does say Tonka on it.
It does say Tonka on it. A fun one. I just flashed back to when Fran was telling us that her and Mel, her husband, watched that restore show, and they were restoring Tonka trucks in one of the shows. It was just kind of fun to see that.
I think that's a YouTube channel too, Restore
It or something like that.
It's a fun station.
Yeah. Well, but anyway, so this is really a fun one for a little boy. It would be great. I've seen lots of Tonka toy truck themes in bedrooms and some of the Fix-It shows, and even in some of the Pinterest channels that I follow on home decor stuff. But this is really fun. It's got a little bit of a metal skid plate in the background and all of these great blues and the words on it. So it's a really fun one. And I think that's kind of a neat piece of trivia. It's, since 1947.
I'd like to make a comment. One reason why I knew that you'd be the expert, because I would never have said it has this great skid plate in the back.
Yeah. Well, I love skid plate. It's on fire trucks. It's on, they're putting it on the lips around the beds of trucks. It's just a fun, neat metal that they use for doing accent on vehicles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a guy thing.
Okay.
You can understand. That's why I'm here today.
I know.
So let's look at this fabric some more. So again, we're going to have our big focus fabric here in those 10-inch blocks on our pattern. So we'll have that in here where we had the dinosaurs. And then our remaining two fabrics, we're going to have a light and a dark. So that light's going to be in the background to help all of that really pop off of the design. And I think that's a really neat light blue that matches up with the Tonka blue. And then this great circles is going to make that really a neat border around those blocks. So this is a great 3-yard quilt kit that we have here. And it is called Tonka Tough. It's actually a third version that we have on this one. And its number is 8021132. And we're using that Bold Blocks pattern again. And this is a last chance. We've only got 2 of these left. So
they could make a twin with this one.
They could. Mm-hmm. So hurry out and grab that before they get bought up. So,
and we will point out to you that the all of the latest books have multiple sizing in them, so they show you how to make the twin and the king queen, as well as the lap. Now we have a few more last chances that we want to share with you. This particular one is the Super Mario World, and that would be your focus. And your yellow is your number 2. Your red is your number 3. Now we only have one of Super Mario left. He was very popular. 8021133. Town Square is our recommended pattern, and that's also from the Easy Peasy 3-yard quilts. And I love this one. Go for it.
So this is a really fun one. We've got all of our planets in here. We've got what looks like to be Saturn, maybe Neptune, and a couple of other planets. So this is a really bright one. So if you've got somebody, a little boy or a little girl that just loves rockets and space, this would be a fun one for them. And we've got that great focus fabric with the planets on it. and this fun little orange with a dot on it that's a nice little complementary is that number 2 fabric, and then our number 3 is that really a kind of a neat pattern on that purple.
Kind of an eggplant purple, I guess you could call it.
Yeah. But this is a fun one, and again, this is another last chance. It is called Out of This World, and it's 8021 I think we got one too many ones in there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we got an extra one in there. 8021
Okay.
And we're recommending the Pretty Please pattern. So this is a really neat one with a nice large block and then a sashed smaller block. So those work really nice together.
They can also search for Out of This World on our website. If you forget a number or something, you can just look for that. Or you could click on Last Chance. There's a button for Last
Exactly.
Chance.
So when you're looking under those 3-yard quilt kits, there's a Last Chance selection there.
Well, it has been a pleasure to have you on our show today.
It's been a lot of fun.
It's been a lot of fun. Well, we've had John in the shows every time because he's behind the camera usually. But just a little recap, we do have 8, or do we have 7 or 8? We have 7. We have 7 books in print and 3 downloadable books. And every book has 8 patterns. So you'll want to check those out at fabriccafe.com. We hope if you like our video, you'll share it with your friends and make sure that they know about us as well. Don't keep it a secret. And then subscribe and then click the bell and you will get notification each time we put a new video up. So it's Donna Robertson.
And John Mossell.
And we had a great time with you today. Join you soon.
Happy quilting.